everybody, this is Dan from Basic Camp Dan. We didn't do a camping adventure this week, just there was a high chance of storms. We didn't want to risk it, so I am just gonna chill out in the backyard. I'll kind of show you some of my gear, kind of what I normally bring. These are the essentials, kind of the stuff, and then also in the gear I did patch my marmots. Part of this channel is if you do buy good gear, we got to repair it. So I repaired this, and this was due to me just having a tent too close to the fire. What happened was embers fell onto the tent and put a bunch of holes. So in this episode I'm also going to pitch this. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, and we're going to test this out, test the gear, because testing the gear is one of the most important things you can do before you head out camping. Nobody wants to get wet, especially when it's cold, but even when it's hot, it just makes you miserable. You can't sleep, and then you just don't have a good time if you don't sleep. So yeah, let's get started showing the gear, and then I am going to kind of go through my totes, and then also in this episode I'm going to get a fire going, and we're going to do some campfire nachos. It's going to be delicious. I'm going to use my Dutch oven and just put it all in there, cook it for a little bit, and then we got a really good lunch, and then after that I'll have a nice craft beer, and yeah, this should be a really good episode. And yeah, thank you for tuning in again. On my t-shirts, if you do buy a t-shirt, I am going to donate every dollar that I make to different foundations to help Ukrainians out with everything that's going on. So I'm going to forward everything I make from these t-shirts. The link is below if you want to buy one. It's for a good cause right now. And I'm going to do this as long as I can, because I feel like since I've been fortunate enough, I need to forward that to the people that need it the most. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and let's get started. Thing I always bring, I bring wool sweaters. Like I said before, wool is awesome because it can get wet and still keep you warm. So I always get these. I mean, a lot of these you can get at the thrift store. You can get a Walmart. I mean, usually the better wool is expensive, but you can get them at thrift stores. You can get them at like Marshalls and TJ Maxx, kind of the secondhand stores. And the cool thing is they last a long time. I mean, so what I did with the marmot is, as you can see, I took some of this vinyl, I cut it into little triangles or squares or whatever. And then I took some seam glue and I kind of just glued it on. I kind of went a little overboard with the glue, but I figured why not just try to get a good coat on there. And it looks like it sealed it up. I'm hoping that this is going to stay. This is supposed to be a permanent. It's a seam grip glue, which is designed specifically for tents. So I did this repair about a month ago. I haven't taken this tent out yet just because I haven't tested it yet. And like I said earlier, it's just really important to test your gear to make sure that everything is going to keep you dry. And also just to get it out and just set it up, because sometimes it's hard to set up certain tents, and you want to kind of just make sure you know how to set up a tent before you bring it out there. Especially sometimes you might get down there at night and you want to be able to set up a tent. You want to know how to set it up before you get down there. You don't want, especially in mosquito season, you don't want to have to sleep outside in the mosquitoes. So yeah, so this is what we're going to test out today. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain, and we're going to see how it's going to survive in some of the it's supposed to be pretty heavy rain, so we'll see. And I'm going to do a video probably later this week once the rain, and then I'm going to just kind of see if there's any wet spots, if there's any spots I need to repair, and then etc, etc. So I'm going to get setting this up now, and then I'm going to get the fire going, and then we're going to have some campfire nachos. Kind of more mid-range tents versus kind of your Walmart tents. It's just the ease of putting up. These have kind of like clips that make it easy, especially if somebody might have some arthritis. So these are a lot easier to put up than a lot of tents. Just the engineering. The zippers are better, so they last longer. And yeah, just a lot of little features that you get from just kind of your basic like $80, $100 tent versus like this is like a $200 to $300 tent. So you kind of just get a little bit ease to put up and just the quality. So that's kind of what I like about this tent. So that's kind of why I wanted to repair it, just because I like it so much. And I wouldn't use a tent that isn't waterproof. So one of the most important things about setting up a tent, especially in heavy rain, is making sure that the tent is staked up properly. A lot of these tents come with kind of like a plastic pole, which you stake it down, and then you kind of tighten it with this, which it seems like, oh, it came undone, but this will create the taut that you need. Sometimes, there you go. You don't need to get it too tight. I think I had it too tight, but there you go. And then, there you go. Now it's nice and tight. Then I'm just going to do this around the whole tent. Now that I have this tent set up, I'm going to get in and I'm going to see if we have any holes. Like whenever you have a hole, you can when you see the light shine through. So I'm gonna double check that real quick. Yep, I don't see any visible holes, but there could be like micro holes, which are holes that you can barely see, but enough that a little bit of water can drizzle in. So that's why we're doing this test, because, and then also we're gonna test the waterproofing. All the tents out of the factory, for the most part, and this if you buy one that is specifically labeled, they have this waterproofing on already installed. So so that's what we're testing too, the quality of this, because it's the rain season's coming up, April, May, and I want to be ready if there is a storm that I don't get soaked. So that's kind of what this test is about, is getting ready for the rainy, stormy season. It's supposed to storm, like I said, tomorrow and tonight, so we'll see how hard that is, see if this stays dry. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. Hopefully this stays dry, because I like this tent a lot. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a small fire going to make lunch. I'm going to get my tote over here. So yeah, this is my tote that I keep pretty much everything for, like kitchen or just a lot of basic essentials like plates and stuff. And since it is a little wet, I'm going to opt to use fire starters. So on the last video, these you can get these at like Academy. Same with these. These are just some waterproof matches. They make it a lot easier, especially when it's pretty wet out. I mean, I could do a little bit of bushwhacking and getting things cut up, but I'm just going to opt to just a little bit of convenience today. So it's going to be these, and then these, and then I have a little bit of kindling that I'm going to get started. Over there, I already got it all situated. We're going to have a small fire, and then we're going to get my cast iron going, and we're going to have a nice lunch. Now this is going pretty well. I'm going to start feeding a little kindling on top. Try to get some of the kind of the drier stuff. Like this is pretty dry. Some of the older stuff, like some of this is newer, so I don't want to use, but stuff that's kind of like super old, this stuff's going to catch right up. And then you're just going to slowly feed it. The key to a good hearty fire is having a base of kindling, especially because I do have split wood, but it isn't super dry, so we're going to need to have a base to get these logs going. And also, it's just satisfying to get a fire going from scratch. It's kind of primitive, and it's also makes you feel good because it kind of brings you back to your ancestors. Now that we have the fire going, I'm going to go ahead and get my Dutch oven ready to get put on there. I'm going to have to preheat it, and then after I get it preheated, I'm going to get everything ready. So I'm starting to get the Dutch oven preheated. Since we're not really cooking something from scratch necessarily, we don't need to get it too hot, but I do like to get it a little bit warmer. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open these cans, and then I'm going to strain them. I'm going to cook all this first, and then I am going to add the chips on the plate, and then kind of just melt everything together, like once all this is cooked. So yeah, right now I'm going to bring the Dutch oven over, get these all entered with the seasoning, get it all stirred together, and then we're going to add the chips, stir that in with the cheese, and then we're going to stir it with queso and sour cream. And then we're going to add the taco seasoning, which is going to give it all the flavor. Can't go without a little seasoning. I'm not going to use a whole bag, use about half of it. Then we're going to stir that in. Stir well. And if you're wondering why I'm doing it down here versus here, just this table's plastic, and then this is super hot, so I don't want to melt the table, so that's why I'm down here kind of stirring it if you're curious. And these are chicken thighs, which are some of my favorite. They're really good in Mexican dishes. So doesn't that look really good? It's we're going to simmer that together about 15-20 minutes. Then we're going to get chip with queso and sour cream and put this on top. We're going to scoop a hearty scoop of this mixture, get it right on top, and then we're going to go over here. I'm going to grab a spoon, and then we're going to finish it with sour cream. Does that look good? Or what? That is campfire nachos. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. Let's bring the camera up a little bit. Up, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. Again, thank you for watching. This was just kind of impromptu. Didn't really plan it. I'm going to have some cool videos coming up. Going to do some light kind of non-traditional backpacking. Going to do some cowboy camping. And if you like this, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. I'd appreciate it. Or subscribe, that also helps. Or if you just want to leave a comment, leave some suggestions, I always open to that. I do appreciate it, and have a good day. Enjoy your week, and I'll see you next weekend. This is Basic Camp Dan on YouTube.